Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a topic again from the same subject, that is concrete technology, which is process of concreting, or you can simply call it as a concreting process. Okay. So whenever there will be a concreting process, it involves some steps. Those steps I have written down here, that is, first is batching, second is mixing, transportation, and then compaction and curing. In this simple steps, the concreting process is going to be carried out. Concrete is a building material which is been mixed, which is created by using cement, sand, and water in a, you can say, adequate amount, or in a certain proportion. Sometimes some admixtures are also added to it, so that to make it of good quality. Okay, so these are the certain steps which are involved in the process of concreting. Some steps or some points of these steps we are going to thoroughly discuss in coming sessions. So today we are briefly going to discuss something about this particular process. So the very first part is batching. So batching is nothing but the process of measuring different concrete materials such as cement, coarse aggregate, sand, water for the making of concrete is known as batching. Batching is nothing but you have to weigh the materials. Either you can weigh those materials by volume, or you can weigh those materials by using weight. Okay, so there are two basic methods which are been created or categorized based upon this condition. Those are volume batching and weight batching. Again, in my coming session, I'm going to take a small topic related to this batching. So we will discuss what is volume batching, what is weight batching. In short, I have described what is volume batching and weight batching here. So in volume batching, the measurements of concrete are taken by volume. You have to measure whatever the ingredients you are taking for the concrete mixing, those will be based upon volume. And in case of weight batching, you are going to take the weight of each and every ingredient, and based upon their weight you are going to add those in a required amount. So this is what is the batching process you need to first follow while you are doing concreting process. Okay. So the second step is mixing. Okay, mixing is nothing but, which is very important process, because in this process all the materials are thoroughly mixed in a required proportion. Whatever the material you are considering or you are taking for mixing the concrete, those are sand, or aggregate, coarse aggregate, you can say, cement, water, whatever the admixtures you are considering. So all these materials first you have to mix thoroughly, okay, in a required proportion, until it forms a paste which will be having uniform color and uniform consistency. Okay, hand mixing and machine mixing, both the methods are there which you can use. Again, in brief manner or in a deep elaboration, we are going to discuss this topic, that is machine mixing, hand mixing, in our next topic, whatever I'll be taking. Okay, so these are two methods basically. So to achieve optimum quality, the material should be first mixed in dry condition and then in the wet condition. So I have given two figures here by which you can understood these things. That is, this is the process which will be hand mixing. So first of all, whatever the ingredients they have taken, they first have to mix it in a dry condition, that is first thoroughly, whatever the proportion. Sometimes if you are taking M15 proportion, that is 1 is to 2 is to 4. So 1 will be your cement, 2 will be your sand, and 4 will be your aggregate. And in that case, how much should be the water content? That also is an important part, and that you have to take in this particular process. And by taking water, little amount of water, you have to mix it thoroughly. How much water we have to take, it depends upon the time. When it shows uniform color and consistency, uniform consistency, that time you can stop adding water. Till then you can add little amount of water. Now the second method is machine mixing. You might know this particular type of mixer, which we called it as a tilting mixer, non-tilting mixer. Both kind of mixers are there. So this is a kind of tilting mixer by which you can thoroughly mix the aggregates or thoroughly mix the concrete. Okay, this is also one of the important process you can use, or a method you can use for the mixing purpose. Okay. Okay, so the next process will be transportation. So transportation also we can do by two methods, that is manual transportation and mechanical transportation. So while you are transporting the concrete, which is already mixed, when freshly mixed concrete is we have to transport the at the construction site, this process is known as transportation. This is quite very simple. After that, the concrete is correctly placed on the formworks. Concrete can be transported by two ways, and which I have listed here, that is manual transportation and mechanical transportation. So manual transportation is to be done by labor on site, but if you have mixed your concrete at you can say the your factory or somewhere else, and if you want have to bring that particular concrete to the site where it is to be constructed, that time you can use these trucks for mixing it thoroughly. Okay, and that process we called it as a mechanical transportation. Okay, because on road, while doing it while it is been transported continuously, that mixer should be in a rotating manner, so that your process of mixing should not be stopped anywhere till it is been placed. Otherwise it will not be able to give that amount of strength what you are expected. Okay, so transportation is also one of the important step in that concreting process. Okay. So the next is compaction. So compaction is the process in which air bubbles are eliminated from the freshly placed concrete. It is required to increase the ultimate strength of concrete by enhancing the bond with reinforcement. So to increase the bond between steel and concrete, it is very much necessary, or it is much more needed, that you must be doing a compacted concrete, or you must be using certain steps for doing it to remove the air bubbles or to remove the voids which are left in the concrete. Okay, so that it will enhance the strength of your concrete. So there are certain methods for the you can say the methods of compactions are there. I'm going to again in detail, I'm going to elaborate this topic in my coming sessions, next sessions, whatever whenever it is possible for me. So there are two basic methods, that is handmade compaction and machine compaction. Basically, hand compaction is been done by rodding, ramming, or tamping. Okay, and machine compaction will be done by vibrators, by use of the vibrators, the internal vibrators, surface vibrators, formwork vibrators, and platform vibrators. So these are four kind of vibrators which are used for doing machine compaction. So which will be more useful, whether hand compaction is you can say useful more than machine compaction, what is the basic process behind that, all these things we will discuss in my coming next session. Okay, so till then be so still you have to be stay tuned with my channel, so that you will be getting updates. Okay, so for that purpose you have to subscribe my channel. Okay, please click on the bell icon so that you'll get the next notifications. So the next and last process is curing. After placing the concrete, after being compacted, the last process will be curing. Curing is also one of the important process, as it is done to keep the moisture for certain time period to complete the hydration process. Okay, so to complete your hydration process in the concreting, you have to make it or you have to keep it in a moisture condition for certain period of time, and that is what is can be done by using this curing process. Curing should be done properly to increase the strength of concrete. Again, it is important to increase the strength of concrete, so that's why curing is one of the important part after concreting, you can say, in a concreting process. Okay, so it is just a last part or last step you have to follow, but it is quite very important for the hydration purpose. And again, by keeping it for the hydration process for some time, you can you can increase the strength of your concrete. And in a short manner, I have tried to give you an information about the process, that is batching, mixing, transporting, compacting, curing, and then finishing. So this is what is the brief and easiest way to remember the cycle. And if you know what is batching, you just can write it down. Okay, whatever may be the process. Mixing also, it is quite very simple process. So I hope in today's session you got some good knowledge from my side. So this was all about the concreting process. In my upcoming session, I am going to discuss elaborately the detailed part of this concreting process. So stay tuned. If you like my channel, please subscribe, like, and share. Okay. Have a good day, guys.